Good morning. Welcome to lesson 122. Forgiveness offers everything I want. And just before we start, I want to offer a little, insight perhaps into hearing these lessons. I had somebody say to me the other day, it's so hard to hear this stuff. It's like I want to reject it. And we have a healing room here at Avatar, and we have a little group sometimes, or most times on a Sunday. And I kind of forget that to a beginner, this stuff can be quite confronting, and the idea of integrating it and hearing it and on the deepest kind of level. So, and that goes for, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You know, learning to listen, learning to hear is probably the greatest skill, the greatest educational, what would you call that? Trophy point or something. I don't really know, but it's really important. So one of the things with this that and I teach it in all our classes whenever I get new people come along is try not to read this or to listen to this as if you're just reading or listening to someone reading you a news article or a magazine article where you kind of only skim along the surface with it, pardon me, or hear it on a very superficial level. You have to make a conscious decision. It's like, I really want to hear this, right? And you have to be firm with yourself. It's like you have to allow in here in your mind, like give yourself a firm instruction to listen. Okay, so I need to listen to this. I need to really hear. I need to block everything out and just focus on this. It's like when you do a meditation and you're trying to enter into that stillness. You block everything out. If the phone rings, you let it ring. If someone knocks on the door, you ignore it. Everything else like that. And you just focus on I am, on the center point of your meditation. But it's the same with hearing. It's the same with seeing. I'm determined to see. I'm determined to hear. Okay, so, and if you have trouble with that, ask the Holy Spirit for help. It's like, help me to even do these lessons, Lord. I have so much resistance, and it's not that you can't hear. There's nothing wrong with you. It's that you don't want to. Everything's always conscious, right? This is the realm of consciousness here. The domain of consciousness is the ego domain, and it's always the domain of denial. So from within the domain of denial, we're attempting to forge a viewpoint based on the rejection of that denial, whilst including it in. I'm in denial. I am, what is it? Hang on, let me get this right. Deny the denial, but don't deny you are the denial, or don't deny you're in denial. So we're attempting to forge that viewpoint with everything against us, which is why it needs a miracle. Okay, this has to be a miracle. Lord, I need a miracle to even hear this lesson. It's like I'm underwater and I'm attempting to take a breath of air. That's how tricky it is. All right, so listen. Lesson 122, forgiveness offers everything I want. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness? A quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a gentleness that can never be hurt, that never can be hurt, a deep abiding comfort and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? All this forgiveness offers you and more. It sparkles in your eyes as you awake and gives you joy with which to meet the day. It soothes your forehead while you sleep and rests upon your eyelids, so you see no dreams of fear and evil, malice and attack. And when you wake again, it offers you another day of happiness and peace. All this forgiveness offers you and more. Forgiveness lets the veil be lifted up, which hides the face of Christ from those who look with unforgiving eyes upon the world. It lets you recognize the Son of God and clears your memory of all dead thoughts, so that remembrance of your Father can arise across the threshold of your mind. So that remembrance of your Father can rise across the threshold of your mind. That's it. That's our goal. That's the big one. Remembrance of your Father. What would you want forgiveness cannot give? What gifts but those are worthy to be sought? What fancied value, trivial effect, or transient promise never to be kept can hold more hope than what forgiveness brings? Why would you seek an answer other than the answer that will answer everything? Here is the perfect answer given to imperfect questions, meaningless requests, half-hearted willingness to hear, and less than halfway diligence and partial trust. Here is the answer. Seek for it no more. You will not find another one instead. God's plan for your salvation cannot change, nor can it fail. Be thankful it remains exactly as he planned it. Changelessly, it stands before you like an open door with warmth and welcome calling from beyond the doorway, bidding you to enter in and make yourself at home where you belong. Here is the answer. Would you stand outside while all of heaven waits for you within? Forgive and be forgiven. As you give, you will receive. There is no plan for this. There is no plan but this for the salvation of the Son of God. Let us today rejoice that this is so, for here we have an answer clear and plain, beyond deceit in its simplicity. All the complexities the world has spun of fragile cobwebs disappear before the power and the majesty of this extremely simple statement of the truth. Here is the answer. Do not, this is a good bit. I like this bit. You ready? Do not turn away in aimless wandering again. Accept salvation now. Aimless wandering. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, what you're doing. Traveling here, going there, new jobs, family, friends, anything. It's aimless. There's no goal worthy of you except the highest goal. There's no purpose except the highest purpose. To accept a purpose for yourself less than the highest purpose is to fail to achieve your human fulfillment, your temporal objective in this lifetime, which is to reach enlightenment. It doesn't take 50 lifetimes. It's now. Accept salvation now. It is the gift of God and not the world. Not the world. The world can give no gifts. Ooh, ready? The world can give no gifts of any value to a mind which has received what God has given as its own. God wills salvation be received today, and that the intricacies of your dreams no longer hide their nothingness from you. And that the intricacies of your dreams no longer hide their nothingness from you. And you may have some incredible dreams. It's like when I was a young fella, I went to many protests and had quite some successes and thought that I could change the world because of that. But it wasn't long, it wasn't many years before I realized that if I save a forest here, another one is cut down over there. And if I help clean a river here, somebody's starting to pollute one over there. It's never ending. It doesn't stop. The footprint of man upon the earth is destructive and hell-bent, and that's probably the right word, hell-bent on its own annihilation. Welcome to the world. It's like, let's take the blinkers off and just look at it for a second. Everything here ends in death. From the tiniest little insect to the biggest thing in the sea, the whales, and everything here dies. Right? Luckily, we have salvation. Open your eyes today and look upon a happy world of safety and of peace. Forgiveness is the means by which it comes to take the place of hell. In quietness, it rises up to greet your open eyes and fill your heart with deep tranquility as ancient truths forever newly born, arise in your awareness. What you will remember then can never be described, yet your forgiveness offers it to you. Remembering the gifts forgiveness gives, we undertake our practicing today with hope and faith that this will be the day salvation will be ours. We undertake our practicing today with hope and faith that this will be the day salvation will be ours. Earnestly and gladly will we seek for it today, where we hold the key within our hands, accepting heaven's answer to the hell we made, but where we would remain no more. Morning and evening, pardon me, morning and evening do we gladly give a quarter of an hour to the search in which the end of hell is guaranteed. Begin in hopefulness, for we have reached the turning point at which the road becomes far easier, and now the way is short that yet we travel. We are close indeed to the appointed ending of the dream. Sink into happiness as you begin these practice periods. It's like sink into happiness, beginning these practice periods all throughout the day, happiness. It's like, this is the most incredible book. It's like, finally, in a world gone mad, or in a world representing my madness, I found a book that tells me how to completely flip that over and bring about a reversal of the mechanism in my thinking that brought it about in the first place. It's like, oh my God, I'm so happy at last. Unless, of course, you don't want to be happy for no reason and you think that something outside of yourself is going to make you happy, in which case continue to look for meaningless things. Sink into happiness as you begin these practice periods, for they hold out the sure rewards of questions answered and what your acceptance of the answer brings. Today it will be given you to feel the peace forgiveness offers and the joy the lifting of the veil holds out to you. Before the light you will receive today, the world will fade until it disappears, and you will see another world arise you have no words to picture. Now we walk directly into light, and we receive the gifts which have been held in store for us since time began, kept waiting for today. Forgiveness offers everything you want. To all things you want, today all things you want are given you. It's like what you truly want. I mean, you're unaware, this is the idea. I'm unaware of what I truly want. I don't know my own best interests. I'm always sabotaging my own best interests and ruining everything that could actually serve my happiness. So now I have forgiveness, and it's going to bring to me what I truly want, but I have to allow that to be shown to me rather than decide what it is that I think I truly want. Okay? When you remember your Father, when you remember your Creator, when you have that experience, the enlightenment of your mind, you'll realize that that's all you were looking for actually ever in the first place, whilst wandering away in dreams. Let not your gifts recede throughout the day as you return again to meet a world of shifting change and bleak appearances. Retain your gifts in clear awareness as you see the changeless in the heart of change, the light of truth behind appearances. Don't look at me as this body. Look beyond this body, perceptually in your own mind. That's what the idea of the third eye is. I'm going to have a new vision here. I'm going to look beyond the body. I'm going to imagine, I'm going to perceive, I'm going to envision for myself a light, a truth within that being, beyond that flesh identity that is the animating force, the source of the actual ability for that thing to appear to me in the first place at all whatsoever anyway. It's like the battery. I want to look for the battery that's making this thing, because the battery is actually the source of the energy, the source of the light of this mechanism, not the mechanism itself. And that's a bit of a reduction, a lot of a reduction, but you kind of get the idea. Probably not the best analogy, but you know, look beyond the body. What is it that gives this body life, or seems to give this body life? Where are we? Be tempted not to let Be tempted not to let your gifts slip by and drift into forgetfulness, but hold them firmly in your mind by your attempts to think of them at least a minute as each quarter of an hour passes by. Remind yourself how precious are these gifts with this reminder, which has power to hold your gifts in your awareness throughout the day. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Today I have accepted this as true. Today I have received the gifts of God. Right, and having received that gift myself, having seen the world vanish, my body vanish, and everything disappear into just this blazing golden light, which like it said in there, you can't describe it. There are no words. I've tried many times, but there is nothing else in the world I want. Everything out there is either useful to me in the pursuit of my purification, or it's not. To have a value of itself separate from salvation means that I don't want salvation. If I give something else a value separate from, well, here's salvation, and then I also have this other stuff. It's like, no. You have to include all that other stuff in to this, right? And I think the litmus test for determining what's valuable to you in salvation or not is whether it is eternal. So the red Ferrari, sorry, it's each other, you and I as one together, joining in salvation. That's all that's valuable here in this world. Everything else is going to end very badly. Yeah, okay. So, all right, lesson 123 tomorrow. I thank my Father for his gifts to me, and like the attitude of gratitude, to be thankful for everything. Everything's either a lesson or a blessing. If it's a lesson, be grateful, because it means that there's an opportunity for change in you, which will bring you greater peace, greater joy, greater happiness, and a greater sense of self. Right? If it's not a lesson, it's a blessing. Be grateful. So gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. Say that 1,000 times. And if you can't find the gratitude for anyone, forgive. That's it. Peace.